Yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked. Yes. Another beautiful Saturday morning in the Atlanta, ATL, whatever you want to call it. We down south. Great to be talking sports today, ladies and gentlemen. So much going on. And if you don't know, I'm Mr. Controversy, and you've entered inside the Three-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Did you miss me? So much. NFL free agency, NCAA basketball conference championships, MLB starting up, NBA action. What else we have? PBA. All right. So, once again, go ahead. What you got, G?
I was trying to do that Pete Weber quote. He's like, I don't know what you are. I am. Like it's like so weird. One of those bowling quotes. Like,
yeah, the bowling. I know you're talking about. You know, dude be killing him with the glasses. But anyway, like I said, you've entered inside the Three-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And I'm not doing this by myself, people. As you heard, we have the engineer, the one and only, who just celebrated a birthday on Thursday night, who says he doesn't celebrate it. Or on Thursday, I should say. But he says he doesn't celebrate. My man, G.
Shout out to Nathan Peterman.
Continue to watch Facebook. I'm going to put the video up. That will make sense.
For those of you that don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to put the video up. You will see why. But anyway, also, I got my road dog, my partner in crime, D Intellectual. What up, D?
What up, though? You already know.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. Free agency, bro. It's been crazy, right?
Man, it's been nuts. It's been nuts. Like, the first couple days, like, bro, it was big things happening, man, and we're going to talk all about it today, man.
Yeah, man. Like, it was so much. Like, I'm not going to lie. I was shocked most of the time. It wasn't like how it usually be. You know how it usually be. You kind of, you know what's going to happen, and nah, it was some shockers. But anyway, we have a great show today. We are talking NFL free agency, like we stated. You, if you missed it, I don't know where you've been, but we're going to fill you in and give our thoughts on, I guess I should say the shocking moves, the stupid moves, and the most intriguing moves.
The stupid moves.
Yeah, stupid moves. Also, we're talking NBA. Who's going to be the coach of the year in the NBA? And so many people, I guess, include. Also, we have a special guest, and Mr. L.A. Broadus, Mr. Everything for the three-point conversion, but mainly the host of, or co-host of Brownstown for the Cleveland Browns, and he will be here to dissect everything that happened with the Cleveland Browns so far in free agency. Also, we have another guest, and Mr. Deshaun Tate from Tate's Take Sports. He's going to be here to dissect the NCAA Conference Championship tournaments, ACC, Big Ten, and then talk about the Final Four tournament and our March Madness and what he expects. And we got baseball. We have to talk about MLB, the Braves, Yanks, and everything else going on with Major League Baseball. So get ready. Let your family and friends know they can listen to the show on locally in Atlanta on 1100 WWWE. That's AM, The Real. Also, they can go on Facebook, the Three-Point Conversion Facebook page. We're on live. What's up, everybody? Also, they can check us out on iHeartRadio. Just look for 1100 WWWE. Tune in. Radio Now. We're on. Just check us out. Also, we're on YouTube, also live. What up, YouTubers? So it is time to get ready for these quick hits. Let's get it. Shout out to Sharon Beats for the sick beats. All right, we're going to start it off like this. So, I don't know if you all watched the game last night, but the NCAA tournament, man, North Carolina Duke. First of all, it was so many games last night, so many great games. But that Duke North Carolina lived up to the hype. Usually, you don't get that in college basketball, today. But it was crazy. Duke beat North Carolina 74-73. So much drama with Zion getting the putback. He missed a shot and jumped up and got the putback. Then RJ Barrett had a chance to close the game. He missed 2 free throws.
Both of them.
White come down. I don't know what he was thinking when he took that shot. But like I said, it was great.
He wasn't.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? What do you think? What does that say about college basketball, knowing of the one and dones? And we usually don't get that type of, action like all at once. Last year was great too. Mm-hmm. You had a lot of upsets. But I'm talking expectations, like with the great players playing well and everything like that.
I think it was the Zion effect. You know what I mean? Like, of course, college basketball has been pretty good this year, but I think it's really been because of the kind of the Duke trio, and other teams are definitely playing well. You got Virginia out there doing their thing, Tennessee doing their thing. But the Zion effect, right? Like, he kind of makes you want to watch college basketball, right? Even if you're not really a college basketball fan, just because of what this kid's doing, he kind of make you want to watch it. And this is one of them instances where the one and done actually is good for college basketball. A lot of times we'd be like, well, it's not really good for college basketball because it kind of takes away from it after they're gone. But this year, Zion being there really, really helped college basketball.
Right. And G, let me ask you this. So when LeBron got chosen, I think LeBron was that last player where, like D spoke of, he made everything. You watch basketball, he made other players want to play. It was the same thing with Jordan. Matt, they had that effect. Do you think Zion is that guy? He will be that guy where the NBA league would get better just because he's in there?
Well, it will definitely change how the game is played a little bit. In the few times that I even listen to anything Colin Cowherd says, he says there are 4 players that he has watched and play on the high school and college level that they lived up to the hype when they got to the NBA. And he said that was Patrick Ewing, Shaq, LeBron, and now Zion. Mm-hmm. So he's lived up to the hype to where people wondered if he was going to actually be the number 1 pick. Maybe it would be Barrett or Reddish or somebody else. But now it's to a point to where you have to lose your job as a GM if you don't draft this guy with the first pick. Yeah.
Right.
And, a lot of people keep saying that, Barrett's better or Reddish might be a better fit for the NBA. Zion had 31 points last night, and they scored 74 as a team. He's so efficient. The play he made last night.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Who else do you see make that kind of play?
And his first game back, what he went 9 for 9.
No, it was
13 for 13. And it was ridiculous. He hit a 3. You know what I mean? Had he hit more free throws, he'd have 35?
Yeah, he'd been out for 2 weeks?
3 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I agree. We're gonna move on. But like you said, you got players that lived up to the hype.
I'm glad he lived up to it, for real. Because there's a lot of people, even in his junior year, senior year, thinking he was just a dunker. Was he going to be able to? So one of my biggest things, I know we got to get past this, was I didn't want a Felipe Lopez to happen. You remember Felipe Lopez, where he was so better than everybody in high school, but when he got to college, it kind of tailed off, right? Like he kind of stayed stagnant.
And part of that also, it doesn't happen with Zion. I think you're going to see more players get considered the next LeBron, and maybe the skill set it won't be as much pressure as Felipe was called the next Jordan.
Right. Yeah. And
he was Dominican Jordan. Yeah. So having that label kind of hurt.
And then too, we look at Andrew Wiggins now. He garbage. But anyway, moving on.
I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
Yeah, he's on a garbage.
He needed that shout out.
He's on a garbage watch.
He needed that shout out.
All right. An investigation is being conducted by the Overland Police involving a juvenile at the home of Kansas City Chiefs star wide receiver and Pro Bowl Tyreek Hill. Hill is no suspect, but the incident happened in his home. It is involving his fiance.
I'm tired of people worrying about other people keep whooping their kids, man.
No,
and that's kind of what it sounds like. And I'm not.
It's a broken arm in this.
Oh, he got a broken arm. Now,
so
that's a little different.
This was so we don't know because they really hadn't put out what happened,
right?
And that's why they're investigating. This happened in 2015, so I mean, but our prayers stay with Tyreek.
Definitely.
But the good thing is, it's really no good thing. But I'm saying the fact that he's not involved in it.
And in it, like he's gonna be in trouble, nothing like that.
Trouble, so.
And Ty, good dude too, man.
Right. Moving on, the Miami Dolphins traded quarterback Ryan Tannehill to the Tennessee Titans for a 2019 7th round pick and a 2020, I think it's 4th round pick. And Tennessee received a 2019 6th round pick. Now, it's been reports that Colin Kaepernick is interested in the Dolphins because right now, I think their quarterbacks consist of.
I know they got Luke Fales or something Fales.
They got traded.
Well, he's on the Dolphins. Like,
quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got.
They don't have a quarterback.
They got Luke Fales. They got Johnny Unitas. And they rest in peace, Johnny Unitas. But I don't know who they have.
It's just two dudes. Just two dudes.
They got Joe Glass. What's dude from Mike Tyson Punch Out? Joe Glass.
Joe Glass. Yeah, it's bad for the Dolphins. And
would this be a good opportunity for Kaepernick?
If the team forgives that that Fidel Castro T-shirt, sure.
But not just that, right? Like
y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, definitely. But even with Kaepernick, right? You don't want to go into a bad situation, right? You know what I mean? Is the Dolphins the and I know he want to get back in the league, so I guess it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Just to get back in the league.
Yeah,
so.
I guess.
Moving on. The NFL has suspended Cleveland Browns running back. Notice I said Cleveland Browns running back. Kareem Hunt. Don't even sound right. For the first 8 games of the 2019 season for the incident he had last year in the hotel where he got into it with the young lady and he apparently he tried to kick her or whatever. But 8 games. Do you think that's?
I think that's on point.
Okay.
I think it's on point. I was expecting anywhere from 8 to 10, definitely half the season at least. He can't be mad. I'm sure he's satisfied with it. It's not a whole season. It's not. And he didn't appeal it. He didn't. I think it's perfect to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I
think it's perfect.
Good. I think it's good. Moving on. After the Utah Jazz put a lifetime ban on fan Shane Kiesel for offensive comments and being racist. Yeah, I had to throw that in.
Thanks. You needed that.
OKC Russell Westbrook. That was my thought, but it's true. But the Jazz also banned another fan for degrading comments toward Russ, calling him boy. This was last year.
Yeah, in the playoffs.
Yeah, because there was definitely an interaction during the playoffs.
Yeah.
Look, Utah has a reputation, one as having great fans, and then on the other side, fans like this. Like
racist, horrible fans. Like Dennis Rodman said it years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's bad there. And even the owner got up, she spoke in front of one of the games. She gave a good, speech. Like, we're not going to tolerate hate. That's not what the Utah community is. That's not what we're about, which I'm sure, that's what it is. There's bad people everywhere, right? But I don't think the players should have to deal with it. And banning these fans is the right thing to do. Right. And going forward, it's going to send a message that that's what's going to happen. And security, though, right, needs to – so you don't want to tell a fan what to say, right? Because you want fans to be able to say whatever they want to say to an extent. When it becomes racial, homophobic, degrading, things like that, then that's when security's going to have to step in, man.
They need to, right. And then last but not least, speaking of security, do we need security for this guy? A video surfaced from September 22nd when the New York Knicks owner, James Dolan, was at a concert at the Pilgrimage Film Festival, and he kicked a fan out of the concert because the fan had a sign saying trade the team, something, Dolan, trade the team. Why are you here? Trade the team.
If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, it says quit your day job,
Yeah,
sell
that's
the
right.
Knicks.
Right. Sell the Knicks. That's what it was. Sell the Knicks. All right. And so Dolan had his band, JD and the Straight Shot. They were performing, and Dolan got on the mic, called a fan out. Why are you doing this? Do you see this is not here for this or whatever. Can you leave? And he did what he do. Ban somebody.
Well, he's a like you said, he's a banner. You know what I mean? Like he banned another guy from the Garden. And I saw an interview with him that he said they deserved it because they kind of planned it to sell it to TMZ. One of the fans that he banned and said sell it. But this is a concert. Like, this has nothing to do with, come on, man, dude. He's sensitive.
He banned Charles Oakley.
Right.
Quiet as kept. I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna call LA and see. He might have called Utah, told them, "Hey, you need to ban those guys right now."
Probably did. But come on, man. You can't be like that, man. Like you ban people for real reasons. You can't ban nobody because they said you need to sell the team.
All right, so that wrap up quick hits. We're gonna take a quick break, and we will be back with the hot topic.
Good morning. This is Greg Hurd with your sports news break. The Atlanta Hawks are back on the road today against the Boston Celtics. They are 0-3 against the Celtics this season. In spring training, the Atlanta Braves will play the Boston Red Sox today. The Braves are still undecided about who will start on opening day. Georgia State men's basketball has a big matchup today against Texas State in the semifinals of their conference championship, and they split their 2 games this season. The Atlanta United will try to get their first win of the MLS season when they host the Philadelphia Union. And make sure to follow the 3-Point Conversion for all of your major sports news and updates. It's where fans' opinions matter.
Hey, what's good? It's your boy Nate Burrows from the NFL Network and CBS. One of the illest to do it. Hey, you listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio. Don't you go anywhere. It's lit. It's lit.
Hey folks, Handsome Josh is here to reveal some big news to all the AM 1100 listeners.
I have an app.
That's right, you can now check out all your favorite programs right here on The Real with the Real 1100 app. Whether it's sports, entertainment, or lifestyle, the Real 1100 definitely has you covered.
So why don't you just tell me how much it's going to cost me?
And here's the best part. It's available in your Google Play or Apple App Store, and it's free to download.
Actually, you can count me in on this one.
So download the Real 1100 app today and stay in tune with The Real.
What's up? This is Chris Tucker for the 3-Point Conversion. Let's go.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. I'm your host, Mr. Controversy, sitting here with my main man, The Intellectual.
Yes.
This next segment, The Hot Topic, is brought to you by Cindy Cuts Barbershop, located on 3000 Chapel Hill Road, Suite 206, Douglasville, Georgia. Great shop. Make sure you get there to get your hair cut. As always, no open seats. Great personalities. Great conversation. Great topics. And if you're there early enough, you get some great advice on being married. Ain't that right? B and Dwayne. Make sure you follow Dwayne Chambers. When you get there, go and ask for Dwayne Chambers. He's the barber when you come in all the way down, the last barber on the left. And also shout out and check out my man B. What up, B? Mr. Brian. He is he's third from the last, I guess, on the right. Go all the way down, third from the last. Big tall guy, you know. Think he a G. But anyway, so free agency, the NFL free agency kicked off this week. It really kicked off like last week, I guess you want to say it. Like, I mean, it's no more surprising, you know. But still, a lot of big names, different places, different faces. Man, I mean, you know, I was shocked. So I guess we'll start off. I'll ask you first, D. What was the most shocking? And I'll give you this. Mm-hmm. What was more shocking? Was it OBJ to Cleveland, AB getting traded to the Raiders, or Le'Veon Bell signing with the Jets?
OBJ to Cleveland. You know, we kind of figured that AB was not going to be with the Steelers no more. Like, that was kind of a foregone conclusion. As far as Le'Veon, we knew he was going to go somewhere. The Jets was kind of the front runner, kind of, so to say, for a minute. But what's his name? Gettleman,
right?
The GM from the Giants. He just said that, you know, did you think we signed OBJ to trade him? They signed him for a big deal. To get rid of him now is leaving a lot of dead money on their books. I think they have, over 9 players or 7 players or something like that for $33 million. And it did make sense, but that definitely was the most shocking to me.
Gee, what did you think was – did you think – okay, so he said that was the most shocking. Talk about when you heard it and you look at him going to Cleveland – did it overshadow everything with Brown? And do you think that's what Antonio Brown wanted going to the Raiders? Like, because everything was on the Raiders, they made this mistake, or such. So when this happened with OBJ, do you think Brown was like yes, or Brown was like, nah, I want to be the spotlight again?
No, I don't think that part mattered with Brown, because it seemed like he had the spotlight really for a few weeks leading up to the trade, as far as, having that interview, having the Hulk Hogan mustache, dyeing his hair blue, having a blue dread or whatever. Yeah. So he had the spotlight for a few weeks. I think he may have squeezed a little bit more drama out when it looked like he was going to the Bills, and then that fell through. But I don't think the Odell trade overshadowed all of that, because we all knew AB was not going to be a Steeler.
Yep.
Right.
It was just a matter of where he was going.
Yep.
The Giants didn't have to trade Odell Beckham. The Browns weren't probably looking to trade for him, but the opportunity presented itself.
They jumped
on it.
They jumped on it.
Right. My surprise, I was surprised about that, but it had to be Le'Veon, just for the simple fact that, well, let me say this, and I said this, shout out to H.O. I was on his show, SRT Sports Radio. I was on his show Wednesday night, and I talked about this, even though since Odell Beckham broke the internet, literally, but anyway, I talked about how, first of all, I respect what Le'Veon did. People say, oh, he was dumb because he took less money and all of that. No, I respect it, because it still showed, no matter what, when you stand up for something.
He stood up for something.
You're not going to get, you're standing up. You don't stand up for anything that you know is going to happen. You stand up for something that's a risk. That's why you stand up for it.
Period.
So even though he didn't get it, I respect that.
He still stood up.
But, and I'll say this, and the fact that he signed with the Jets, that's where I was like, I understand they probably was the team that's going to give him the most money, but he hadn't won a championship. Like, I'm trying to think, who was that one running back? It was another running back that did the same thing in the past, that signed for big money and it didn't work out. Can you think of somebody offhand?
I'm trying to think now.
I forgot who it was, but it was a running back. And it seemed like it was like he signed for the Jets or somebody, but he had a chance to sign with, anybody. You signed with a team that gave him money. I can't remember who it was, and it didn't work out. I'm just wondering, yeah, he gets the money, but did he do this basically because, well, I didn't get what I wanted, so let me do this to save face? Because, I like the quarterback. I mean, they got a young quarterback, but what receivers do they have? They don't have any receivers. The defense is trying to build. But I still don't understand why he would choose the Jets unless it was just because of the money.
I mean,
it had to have been that was the most he was going to get. That would be the most guaranteed money. Still not I don't think that's still not the record. I think Todd Gurley still has the record for most guaranteed money for a running back,
and yearly too.
Yeah, so I think that he was focused on, I guess, just getting the guaranteed money and having the long-term security, and he was not going to. I mean, he wasn't coming back to the Steelers because all they were going to do is franchise tag him again.
Exactly.
It's a 1-year contract and anything can happen. So he didn't want to go through that again. And the market was not what he thought it was going to be for him.
So here's the thing with that, right? With the Steelers and the franchise tag. They offered him, 70 previously over 5 years or 4 years? Was it 70 over 4 or 5 years? More guaranteed and everything. And he didn't want to sign him, which is why he went to the franchise tag, right? So explain that. He was offered way more.
I mean, it might have been 5 for 70, but how much would have been guaranteed?
I can't remember.
20.
And I actually think it was more than the money with the Steelers. Now all of this is coming out with how Big Ben is in the locker room, how he gets treated, and that's why I think it was more than just the money. That's me personally.
Maybe, I don't know, because the Pittsburgh locker room been toxic forever. I mean, that's just the way it is. Big Ben hasn't changed.
Yeah, they say he talked to his O-line. That's it.
Right.
I think part of it was a respect thing.
Definitely.
And I think that's what it was with AB for the most part, even though he was being underpaid as far as his production. Yeah. So when he went to the Raiders, they signed him an extension. He does make more money. He has a raise basically. Yeah. So it was partially a respect thing for Brown, and I think also for Bell, and I think that gets understated with Bell, as far as just having this respect of we value you as a player, and we're going to treat you like we value you. And I think with Brown, he was saying that as far as his quarterback goes, but with Bell. That wasn't really understood. People just thought it was about money.
It's about the respect, right? Like, I've done this, and I think what people fail to realize, he had a terrible knee injury, right? He came back the following year and tore the NFL up. And y'all want to franchise me? Man, I think they should have just paid him. Pay the man. Give him what he needs guaranteed. He wanted to set the market standard for not just being just a running back, because he's not just a running back.
Right. So, what has been the most disappointing in free agency? What team do you say, man, it's the Giants. I can say it's the Giants.
I don't see how it's not the Giants, because it's not clear exactly what they are doing. I mean, you trade Olivier Vernon, you trade Odell Beckham. Yeah, you get these draft picks, and it seems like we thought okay, maybe they're just going to build around Barkley for the future, but you still have Eli at quarterback, and there's no guarantee that they're going to take a quarterback with that first-round pick.
And then you go sign Golden Tate.
I mean, they had to. Right at that point, I probably could have got a job.
But they paid him too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. What again, what are you what are you doing?
It's really essentially half of what they were paying.
It wasn't, but
jeez.
What do you say? I don't know. I asked a Giants fan. I said, I don't get it, because I'm like, gee, all right, you're trying to start over, but you have the core with Odell, and you have
that is starting over. Odell is young enough where that is starting over. Right, that's starting over.
So I was thinking this is perfect to get a quarterback.
Haskins.
I understand if you say, I don't want to pay Landon. Let me get somebody else. Okay, I get that.
Right. You can get a safety in the draft, second round.
I don't know. But
And again, draft, even if you wanted to keep Eli this year, right? Draft Haskins, let him sit behind him, and then,
But part of it also, you think these are stuff things they could actually do, but Gettleman has this history of what we don't know what we think he would value. He doesn't actually value.
Right.
When he was with the Panthers, he didn't value receivers, so he let Steve Smith walk. He didn't value DBs, so he let Josh Norman walk. He values. You may think, he values linemen, but then you give Matt Khalil a contract, he keeps getting hurt all the time.
Right. And Carolina just released him too.
And they start Michael Orr at left tackle, where before he was a right tackle. He came to the NFL as a right tackle.
And he was 13 years in by that time?
No, he was like 7 or 8 years in.
Off injuries, you know what I mean?
A lot of injuries, and he's not that good as a left tackle. He could be on the right side. But then you let's put him on the left side and have him protect Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. And they made a Super Bowl run, and because of that, it's like, see, I'm a genius. This all works.
So has it been a team that has intrigued you?
Yeah, I guess no one. Cleveland. Of course, right? Because of what's on the. But there's another team that actually intrigued me, and they haven't did anything. I don't want nobody still not to sleep on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have the most important things, right? Which is stability, quarterback, and coach, and they've all been together, right? And what does that usually equal to? Wins and playing well.
And then we all know that Pittsburgh, no matter what, you can plug in anybody. They always seem to find the playoffs. It
seems to work, right?
I guess the thing with Pittsburgh is that we've seen so much of their offense, but historically it's been their defense that has carried them.
Right.
So I don't know if they've done anything on defense yet, but the team that has intrigued just because based on one signing, and people may not see how important he actually was on the Patriots, but Trey Flowers going to Detroit. To play for Matt Patricia.
He knows him from New England.
That could change what the Lions defense could be next year at least. Yeah. I still don't think their offense is going to be that good. I don't know who Matt Stafford is going to be throwing to. They got Kerryon Johnson, but
they just signed a wide receiver.
Who? Detroit?
Yeah.
I guess not important enough for me to remember.
Not.
Right, but
I would say, this is the two teams. The San Francisco 49ers. The D4 pick was great. Then they pick up running back from here. I can't even think of his name.
Oh, Tevin Coleman.
Tevin Coleman. And they pick up another linebacker. Well, they re-signed a linebacker. And it seems like
they brought in Quan Alexander.
That's what it was, Quan Alexander. So they bring in Quan, you sign Tevin, and then you sign D Ford. You trade for him and you sign him to a big contract. We just reported. I like what the 49ers are doing. But here's the other team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got rid of Malik Jackson, but the big signing was getting Nick Foles. Now, everybody say Nick Foles. Come on, Nick Foles done horrible.
Well, at least they have moved on from Bortles.
Right, and that's
that was enough.
Let's do that first. Let's do that first.
But you get somebody who has playoff experience. Bortles had, but he had won at one game or two games. But no, but you got somebody who can throw the ball, who knows the game. They don't have receivers, but they still got a great defense. You still got Leonard Fournette.
I think it was important for them to move on from Bortles, and it's a good signing for them to get Foles, because now we don't have to worry about the defense. May have to not have to worry about as much as we got to hold a team to 16 points to have a chance, because our offense isn't going to score. They're just going to stack the box against Fournette when he is out there, and so it takes the pressure off the defense a little bit.
Right.
But who does he have to throw to?
And Jalen Ramsey just needs to play.
It was Amendola
I just want him to play this year.
Appreciate that, Frank. It was Amendola that went to
Detroit.
And it's not big, but
No,
it wasn't. It was. I thought it was somebody else. And I
as a
want
Bears fan, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I want Jalen Ramsey to just play. And I'm not saying he can't talk, right? But you got to back it up when you talk, right? Last year he did not do any type of backing it up. So this year I'm gonna need you to just play.
Just playing, don't worry about
right.
antics and everything.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be back to talk some NBA basketball. Who should be coach of the year? We'll be right back.
What's up, people? I'm Real Mike Robb, Super Bowl champion of the Seattle Seahawks. You're listening to 3-Point Conversion. Let's get it.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
Hey, I'm Diana Taurasi from the Phoenix Mercury, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And before we go any further, I want to give this is the Black History moment. Should I say American history? Black history, American history. It's American history.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about, and this goes out to I don't know if you know about, you should know, 1965, 1966 team, and we look at the Texas Western Miners. This is a college basketball team, and they made it to the championship game to play Kentucky. And this is the first time in history that the starting five were all black. And D, you have the names, right?
Yeah, it was first started off with Bobby Joe Hill, David Ladden, Neville Shedd, Harry Flournoy, and Orstenson Artis. Orsten Artis. And that's Texas Western, like you said, it's now the University of Texas at El Paso.
Right. So shout out to them. And once again, shoot, it's like, nah. And they started something because now every team almost it should be history when it's
I mean, considering that they played Kentucky in the national championship,
who was running through teams at the time,
and they won.
Yeah.
And Kentucky is all white,
right?
Yep.
Coached by Adolph Rupp.
Yep.
The last Adolph, American name Adolf had to be
probably,
but
right.
I think on that team they had Pat Riley and Louis Dampier, but it was an all-white team, and Adolph Rupp didn't recruit black players,
at
obviously.
Right.
So the coach, Don Haskins, starting those 5 black players, it was to okay, these might be my 5 best players, but we're also making a point.
And he wound up only playing 7 players, and all 7 players he played were black.
Right.
Like he had Hispanics on his team, a Hispanic on his team, and I think a couple of other people. And the only 7 he played in that game were all black. Word is he told his center, David Ladden, first play of the game, I don't care what you do. You go in, you run somebody over, and just dunk the ball and try to tear the rim down. A statement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A statement. So.
And at the time, Kentucky was a run and gun team. Texas were like a slower team,
right.
but that game they changed it up on them.
So shout out to them, and like I stated and promised you all, not just a promise is what it is, but each month we will have an American history with Black history. So each month, so All right. Now, we move to the NBA. Who should be the coach of the year? You have so many candidates. I'm just going to list a few, and then I'll ask you all.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Coach Bud in Milwaukee, Mike Malone in Denver. I'm going to throw in one. Nate McMillan in Indiana. Doc Rivers in L.A. And you know what? I even give, what's my guy's name? The coach in Donovan. Coach Donovan in OKC. I might throw him a bone, just to throw him a bone.
Right.
Because we didn't see this, even though they got the MVP season from Paul George. So, D, who do you have?
I think Coach Bud is going to get it. First off, he took what was Milwaukee last year? Fourth or fifth or something like that. He took them from fourth or fifth with pretty much the same team, other than what Brooklyn.
No, they were
second.
They were eighth.
Milwaukee was eighth in the playoffs?
Yeah, because they played Boston in the first round. Boston had the number one seed.
Wow.
So he moved them from eighth
to first.
Not just first, the best record in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like it's not even going to be close. He's going to win it, right? But I do want to also talk about some of the other people that you mentioned, right? Nate McMillan, you threw that name out there. He loses his best player, Oladipo, right? We're talking about an all-star. We see what Oladipo done turned into. And they still winning. Sabonis out there playing. They out there balling. They playing unselfish. They playing together. They're playing like a team. Now we know when you get to the playoffs, you need that superstar, right? You need one or two superstars to move on. Not sure what's gonna happen, but during the regular season, Nate's done his thing. But that other name you mentioned, Doc, man, he doing the thing out there in LA. Like he got them believing in themselves. I think one of the biggest things he did was putting Shy out there. I can't say his last word.
Shai Gilgeous.
Yeah, him out there. He long. He's disruptive. He know how to play the point guard. Doc out there coaching, man.
Who would you say? Who would you, if it was up to you right now, who would you give it to?
Right now, I would give it to Mike Malone in Denver. For them to basically have the same team, and they missed the playoffs, and it came down to the last game of the season. For them to miss the playoffs and then to be first or second, basically jockeying for position with Golden State for the top seed in the West, with basically the same team, is just if you give him time, because I think like he didn't get the time that he should have gotten in Sacramento, but that was just a dumpster fire there as far as the kind of team that like they had all these high draft picks and it wasn't turning into anything.
Right, and it's like, all right,
and then
and
then he was really the only guy who could get through to Cousins, and then they fired him.
Right, and then trade Cousins.
Yeah, so for him to come to Denver and to implement his strategies, philosophies, and all that, and for them to go from just missing the playoffs to they still have a chance at the top seed in the West. I think that it was unexpected. It's a huge improvement, and even though it does show in Milwaukee, Coach Bud being there, it shows that coaching does matter. But I think in Denver, that is that's the biggest improvement of a team with the same coach.
Now,
so I gotta give him credit.
Bud, I like, but that was good. I mean, I can't say, but I just think of he has the Greek Freak, and right now everybody's saying Greek Freak is the best player in the league. I'm not saying he shouldn't get it. I'm just saying you throw that in. I like Mike Malone because no one expected Mike Malone. We all had a feeling Milwaukee would be somewhere top 4. Mm-hmm. We didn't expect Denver. We maybe 8th, 7th, not number 1, not number 2, trying to get number 1. But my question I want to ask you all, what about Nate McMillan? Now, Nate McMillan, he has Oladipo, who was an all-star, but got hurt. A gruesome injury. He's not playing.
And they said, what, 4th?
Yeah, they 4th. Well, let me see.
Yeah, I think they're 4th.
Yeah, and the fact that they were playing around with being 3rd in the league, in the conference.
And they haven't, and since his injury.
No, they're tied for 3rd.
They're tied for 3rd.
They're tied for 3rd.
They're tied for 3rd.
And since his injury.
They haven't, it hasn't tailed off. Right.
So, do you consider him? I mean, you talked about Doc. Like, who is more impressive? Is it Doc Rivers? I guess you look at the whole year, but then you look at what Nate has doing. Because even with Oladipo, you didn't expect him to be top 4. I didn't expect him to be top 4.
But I guess with Doc, right, they're 8th, right, in a heavy West, right. Mm-hmm. When did they have a star player?
The closest one they had, they traded him.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the closest one they have now is Lou Williams, before they traded Tobias Harris.
Tobias, right.
Right.
And Doc been coaching. And even though they're 8th, they're 7.5 games out of 1st. This Western Conference is tight.
I also want to give credit to Nick Nurse.
Oh, yeah, Nick Nurse.
Even though Dwayne Casey won Coach of the Year last year for the Raptors, did anyone really believe that they were going to do anything in the playoffs?
No. And when they picked Nick Nurse, I was like, dude, you're going to just get rid of Casey for dude? Like, nobody. No one, you hate to say nobody, but,
But then you see what happens. He changed the the culture of their team. Yeah. We look at them differently, and they made the trade for Kawhi Leonard, but still, like, this is a team
it's still the playing, the offense,
Yeah.
But I think like people may not vote for them because maybe they're just playing better because now they don't have to worry about LeBron in the playoffs. But they don't run into him again.
Yeah, but
what's funny is Marc Gasol hasn't even gotten implemented as strong as you would think.
I just
right?
think that with Nick knows that team, man. He knows
he's been there. He knows
so
it.
he know. Like I've been saying, he can tweak it now. That's what he wanted. It's like Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson, when he was with Chicago, he had been there. So he was an assistant. He knew everybody's strengths, their weaknesses, and he probably knew this might need to work. I need to tweak this. But you really don't have that say-so when you're an assistant coach. But now, as a coach, when he came in, even though they lost that first year to the Pistons when he coached in 90, it was still like you saw a different team,
It's kind of like being the 6th man, right? Like when you're sitting on the bench, you're seeing the starters, you're seeing what's going on and what you need to do or what this needs to be done. You kind of go out there and make it happen real quick. So I definitely, I see what you're saying with that.
Right. All right, so it's going to be tough. I can't wait to see my vote. Quickly, what's your vote? Just say
Bud, Coach Bud.
Mike Malone.
I say Mike Malone. They one game off of being the #1 seed in the West. So, all right, we're going to take a quick break. We will be back with Mr. L.A. Broadus to get more information on this Cleveland Browns team. Who is this Browns team?
Dog pound.
Who are they? We'll be right back.
Three-point conversion, Kevin Herter with the Atlanta Hawks.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
I'm Larry Gajobi from the Cleveland Browns. I'm rocking with the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
We are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And we have a young man. Well, he's not young anymore. He's getting up there. But on the line, on the air, on the phone line, calling in. He's going to give us some insight on this Cleveland Browns team and what other person to have than the co-host of the hit podcast show, Browns Town, my man, Mr. L.A. Broaders. What's going on, L.A.?
What's going on, y'all? Hey, and don't lump me in the age group with y'all, okay? I'm still a spring chicken.
Whatever. You ain't no spring
chicken. We hear you, man. We hear you.
I know, right?
We hear you.
Hey, so, well, first of all, even before I get to the questions, man, I know Cleveland is crazy out there, right? You're out there in Akron. What is the vibe? How is the atmosphere right now?
Man, look, first of all, you already know Facebook and Instagram went down. That was due to Cleveland, okay? Like, Northeast Ohio shut down Facebook and Instagram. Something just astronomical. I was just sitting back thinking before I hopped on with you guys is that in my lifetime, I've seen LeBron come back and win a championship, and then this move happens where we could potentially go to a Super Bowl. There's plenty of Northeast Ohio people in general, that have not seen that ever from a Cleveland team. And I get to actually be alive to see it. That's the vibe around this city right now.
Wow. No, I can only imagine.
Had the Cubs not beat them.
Yeah, and then Cleveland.
Come on, man. Come on.
All right. So, look. Right. So, now, They got everybody. They got OBJ. You know, it looks great. Everybody's buzzing about this trade. What signings would you say, or signing, I should say, or signings that has, like, I guess, been overlooked that might be just as important as the OBJ trade?
To be honest with you, the best signing, you know, to that got pushed under is the re-signing of Greg Robinson. Once they were able to insert Greg Robinson into that offensive line, I mean, they gelled. You know, the continuity was there. Baker barely got touched. And to be able to get him back on a one-year deal, a one-year prove-it deal, I mean, that was huge. And I think that got buried in underneath everything that's happened afterwards.
Yeah, that's definitely what's up. Now with everything transpiring in Cleveland and all the hype, you know, you got a young coach, first-year coach. Is there any doubting that this might be too much for him?
That's floated around a lot, but to be honest with you, when you get to know what kind of guy Freddie Kitchens is, he doesn't care. I mean, if you check out any of his press conferences, he's just a guy that goes to work, puts his head down, and just works hard. And that attitude is, as Jarvis Landry would say, contagious around the team. Everybody respects him. He's the kind of guy that can get up in people's faces without belittling them or anything like that, but he just shoots straight from the hip. You know, the way John Dorsey is, that's the way Freddie Kitchens is, and I know that it's his first time being in this kind of role, but a lot of people around the league have said that Freddie has been that guy that has been overlooked, unfortunately, but he works hard, and they're actually glad that he is getting this type of exposure now.
That's what's up.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that this is more of the signing of or having Kitchens become head coach, it was more of Dorsey because this is like looking at it as his guy versus Greg Williams? Because wouldn't you think that Greg Williams did a heck of a job the way the team battled back once he took over the helm of the team?
Yeah, absolutely. Greg Williams did a great job. It was a complete surprise, like I said, when all that happened back then, Hugh Jackson going, and then even Haley, because a lot of us picked Haley to take over. But when we seen all that happen and all the, just all kinds of stuff going on in the background that you didn't know about, and it finally came to fruition, we were like, wow, okay. So that was a good move. With Greg Williams, it's kind of a catch-22 because, like, everybody wanted him to be there, but Dorsey is always looking to be innovative. He wants to take that next step. And even though Greg Williams was there, it's kind of like we kind of felt like he did an okay job, but Dorsey's looking for that next splash, as you see how he has been as a GM. He's always looking for that next splash. So he felt that Kitchens picking him, not only is he his guy as far as mentally, they're matched up pretty well, but he's that next step. He's looking, everybody's looking for that next Sean McVay. And in no way am I comparing Kitchens to Sean McVay, but he's looking for that next big splash, and that's why I believe he chose Kitchens.
All right, and once again, we're here live with L.A. Broadus, the host, our co-host with my man, Mr. Eric. What do y'all call Eric now? What's his nickname?
Stoshball, a.k.a. Stoshball.
Stoshball of the podcast Brownstown's about the Cleveland Browns. Now, of course, we talk about the team. You mentioned how everybody's excited being in Cleveland with this trade with OBJ. When you think about how big this was, you mentioned earlier, talk about now people never experienced, they got experience LeBron winning the championship, and maybe now Cleveland going to the Super Bowl, being a contender. What was bigger? Was it LeBron coming back to Cleveland after he went to Miami, or was it the trade of OBJ and the effects of the trade?
Okay, so this is going to be an unpopular opinion. We've already battled amongst Browns Twitter for the last couple of days around this subject, but LeBron represented a homegrown person, but to be honest with you, he didn't mean that much to Cleveland as LeBron meant to Akron. Okay, so like the Akron and the cities surrounding Akron, he was the Akron guy and got shown the love there. But as soon as he left Cleveland, you seen how Clevelanders did. They turned against him, burned his jerseys, did all of that. But the people from Akron and the surrounding cities around that, I still got all 4 of my jerseys from them. I'm not burning nothing. but what the fact is that in this area, it's a blue-collar town. So, the factories and all that, football is actually the king. And the fact is that the Browns fans have suffered through so much drama just with the coaching, with GMs, with the fact of not even having a team for all those years. Going down and seeing Baltimore win a Super Bowl. Those things hurt, man. And that kind of thing, everybody's a Browns fan up here, but not everybody's a Cavaliers fan, if you see what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It do make a lot of sense. Now, is there any concern about Baker handling the pressure of getting everybody involved, living up to the expectations of what this team is, and also avoiding the sophomore slump?
Yeah, that's a good question as far as the sophomore slump. But the way Baker operates and works, I mean, he's a hard worker. He's in the books. He's doing everything to get better. As far as spreading the ball around, that's what Baker does. He spreads the ball around. I mean, you seen last year. He didn't care. As long as you got open, you got the ball. So that's going to be good. And then the dynamics of being able to bring in, because like I said, if OBJ would have been on any other team and you spreading the ball around like that, you would have seen like how he acted with the Giants. He came out, he was vocal about, not getting the ball. But with him being paired with his best friend, Jarvis Landry, they just want everybody to eat. And a good point that I heard is that the reason why players come out and they are mad about not getting the ball is because not getting the ball to that player means they family don't eat. And if you're in a locker room with another teammate, y'all are teammates, but y'all ain't necessarily best friends. So that other person across from you a wide receiver, I'm a wide receiver, that don't mean that I care about your family. I just want us to win. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But because of the fact that they are best friends, Jarvis cares about Odell's family, Odell cares about Jarvis's family. So as long as they winning and as long as they still shining together, they're not going to really care. And that's why I think a lot of people aren't looking at when it comes to the dynamics and how important it is for them to be best friends.
Do you think that changes if they're not winning, though?
No, I don't, because there's too many strong-minded people. They talk about the strong-minded people, of course, in a negative way. But you need to have a strong mind when you lose too, right? You need to be able to pick yourself up out of that hole. And there's too many positive people there that will pick each other up around this team. Like it's really crazy, because even the Browns were 7-8-1 last season. Okay, they didn't win anything yet. They didn't even get close to the playoffs yet. But you seen Jarvis's attitude. Like they were still positive. They were still picking each other up. Baker was still positive. Every time they came out to the press conferences and talked about the losses, I mean, everybody was still positive. You didn't really hear that much craziness coming from the team. Now, you heard it from the coaches and stuff, and that's why they're gone. And like I said, that comes from the top, from Dorsey. Dorsey doesn't play any games. If you out there and you barking your gums and talking stuff and all that, you gonna get cut. You'll see him move people real quick. He does not care.
All right, LA, this is G, man. I have a fun question for you as far as regarding Jarvis Landry and OBJ. I told some people, like, I know that Jarvis Landry wanted OBJ to come to Cleveland. I was like, man, if that happens, you know how much dancing will be done, and they might get delays of game because they're doing too much dancing before the play. But has anybody tried to make a new song or dance for the Cleveland Browns yet? And if not, like, would you be able to? I'm giving you an opportunity to like capitalize on that. To have a viral dance and song for this new era, basically, of the Cleveland Browns. So, if like Kid Cudi or Stally is trying to like make a new song for this team.
Hey, look, anything is possible. I mean, even just with having Baker in town, we seen my cousin Snoop come up in the training camp and stuff. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna have all kinds of high profile people coming through. I've not seen a dance yet. I did see an Avengers Endgame trailer though that they mixed up for Browns cutscenes and stuff like that. So that was really awesome. And then I seen a T-shirt that they made talking about John Dorsey being the Godfather now. Which is on my Twitter right now. It's going crazy right now. But I have not seen the dance yet, but I would not be surprised. And you may see me upload a video doing it. I mean, you never know.
All right. There you have it. Mr. L.A. Broadus. He is the host of Brownstown, a podcast about the Cleveland Browns. Also, he is the three-point conversion insider. You can follow him on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at LA Broadus. All right, LA, appreciate you for coming on, man. Good stuff.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the Stop It segment. Stop it.
What's happening? It's your man Big T doing big things. Y'all know what it is. ATL Hawks official DJ and Rap City forever. You're checking out the 3-Point Conversion Radio. You dig?
You are tuned into WWE Hakeville, AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Are you tired of avoiding great-tasting food because you want to eat healthy? Well, Salad Express will fix that problem for you. Salad Express is a gourmet salad and grill restaurant that gives you multiple options to satisfy your taste buds and keep you healthy. They have over 40 toppings, which are cut fresh daily, 7 homemade soups, and even chili. You can also order hot sandwiches and wraps with choices like grilled chicken, steak, salmon, and shrimp, which can be added to salads too. So go ahead and visit them today at 1055 Mansell Road, Suite 600, Roswell, Georgia, and 1171 La Vista Road Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia. Call their Roswell location at 770-680-5992 or the La Vista Road location at 404-929-8828. And don't forget to let them know the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge sent you.
No mercy. Don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. We want to thank everyone who has been supporting us. And if you haven't been supporting us, it's cool.
Support us.
What you
if you
say,
haven't
G?
been support us,
G
support us.
too.
It's like, hey, get in on the ground floor, man.
Yeah.
While you still can.
When it's humping, don't hop on the bandwagon like they finna do the Cleveland Browns.
I was about to say something else. But anyway, no. But no, we appreciate everyone who's supporting us, man, who keep us going. So appreciate
thanks
you all.
for always listening, man. We got a lot of people that listen every week, man. We really appreciate y'all.
Right. And also, I want to give a special shout out to someone who is in the chair right now getting their haircut. My man, Al. What up, Al? A real upstanding guy who's been patronizing the barbershop, Cindy Cuz Barbershop, since 2010. But he is now tuning in to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. We appreciate you for listening, sir. And now it is time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Stop it!
Stop it, stop it. Yes, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it!
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, D, you are up. What do you have, sir?
So my stop it today, it got to go to Unc. You know who Unc is. Oh, Shannon Sharp. The other day he was talking about.
Shannon Sharp said this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
The other day he was talking about Zion. He was saying how a man-child he is. And he said he came in bigger than LeBron. What he said was that when LeBron came in, he was skinny. He was a skinny high school. Man, LeBron James was 6'8", 240, 250. Yeah, man, you can't. You got to get a stop it for that.
Stop
it. No way he was skinny.
LeBron James looked like Shannon Sharp's father when he came in. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, I know Zion's bigger overall, but LeBron wasn't
he wasn't
LeBron wasn't skinny.
All right, G, it's on you.
All right, I hope I didn't take this from you, but mine goes to the Toronto Raptors for rebranding their practice facility after Drake's October's very own imprint. So if you go to their practice facility,
it's OVO, I heard.
You will see the Raptors logo and the OVO logo on the side of the building.
Yeah.
Look, Drake may be sidelined in all the games, but he is like Lil Wayne. He's like Snoop as far as being a bandwagon fan. Yeah. Like he may go to your games, you may give him this ambassador title, but he ain't really about y'all.
Ain't right.
He will drop y'all as soon as he possibly can. So I got to give the Raptors a stop it.
Stop it.
All right, my stop it goes to, this is horrible because this is not a laughing situation if you first glance at it, but oh well, I missed the controversy. So my stop it is going to Stanford University. So Stanford University, they have a sailing team, right? Sailing. And their coach, John Vandermoor, pleaded guilty to accepting $270,000 in bribes from a bogus charity to recruit 2 teams with little boating experience. I don't understand how in the world, how can you, it's sailing. Get anybody you want. I mean, maybe because I'm not.
You got to know how to sail, man. You got to know how to sail. It's an art to it. I'm joking.
You getting in trouble with the NCAA for sailing, for getting recruits from sailing.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Now it might just be 3 people.
He is just as dedicated as the basketball coach or the football coach.
They took $500,000 more in donations from the same nonprofit linked Who cares?
What was funny is that, like, with the college admissions scandal that's been going here the last week, there was somebody who, like, the part of the scheme was getting your kid to put them on an athletic team
like
that no one was going to pay attention
rowing
to,
or
like
something,
crew,
yeah,
like crew or water polo. No one's paying attention to crew and water
And
polo.
then they got
so
caught.
they were getting like these kids are getting scholarships, getting crew scholarships, and like taking pictures for the catalog as if they're really on the crew team.
Right.
What's even funny with that is that one of the daughters was like, I don't want to go to college. Like, she was on YouTube flat out saying that. I guess I'll go there to see what's going on. And it was hilarious.
After mom and dad spent $500,000
and that's
to
who
get
daughter,
you
that's,
going to school.
That's who daughter it was, too.
For Full House.
Yeah, Becky.
Wow.
Like, I spent $500,000. You are going to school.
Her daughter was like, I guess I'll go in there and see what the deans want me to do. And I just want to party. And
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the three-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here, walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The three-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
Tune your radio.
Tune in.
Now.
You can tune into this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones,
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at tunein.com.
Or your app store.
Whether it's quick hits, what's on my mind, the infamous Stop It segment, you got to be there every Saturday morning on the 3-Point Conversion station for the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge hosted by Mr. Controversy. Get him!
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Quickly, what you got going on, D?
Looks like it's going to be pretty nice today. I think it's supposed to be 60 degrees. Definitely go get something to eat and just chill out, man. Catch some of this college basketball, man. Today going to be a big day, man.
Oh, yeah, right. What you got?
I'm going to
sleep.
Hopefully I can still not today. I had yesterday off, so I had plenty of sleep. I'll catch up on more sleep tomorrow. But I'll be going to the if I can still get my ticket, the Chocolate and Art Show. It's happening somewhere around here. I guess there's lots of chocolate and paintings to look at.
Oh, I thought you meant chocolate as in us.
That would have been, that's dope. That's dope right there.
That's a dope.
Nah, this is all I can take per week.
You been to Candytopia yet?
I haven't yet. I just heard about it like last week, but yeah, I want to check that out too.
I'm spending with the little ones, so with the children, I guess. Go see family, chill out. That's it. Try to watch that game. Hopefully.
Try.
Yeah, because I need to be back in time to watch the game because I'm gonna be over there. So, but all right. Now there's a game tonight. OKC. They're playing Golden State once again, right?
I think that they are.
And Russ has been Russ. And they look good. They might, Golden State, they have looked good as well. I mean, they're Golden State. They right now they 5-5 in the last 10. They've been chilling, relaxing. You know how they do.
Yep.
But still, we know once they get in the playoffs, and you got the Houston Rockets. They're 9-1 in the last 10 games. Denver Nuggets. Then we talked about OKC and Portland. My question is, with all of those teams in the West, is there a team in the East that's capable of beating any of them in the 7-game series in the finals?
If there is, I'll say probably the Bucks in Toronto. The reason I say the Bucks is because they're so multifaceted, right? Like they can do so much. They got Brook Lopez who can step out and shoot threes. But he also down there blocking better this year than these. I think he's the first center to hit 150 threes and have 150 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
The first player,
right.
or something like that. Don't quote me on the exact numbers, but I believe it is that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got Eric Bledsoe. We know he's what they used to call him, a little LeBron with his body size. He play defense. He can push it down on you. Chris Middleton, he can shoot. We know what the Greek Freak going to do. And then their bench comes in and they kind of do their thing. With Toronto, we know what they are. And then their bench, again, they got a good bench. They got, I can never pronounce his name, Pacum.
Greg is the
Pascal Siakam?
Yeah, Pascal Siakam. There you
Greg
go.
say his name like it is nothing.
like it's Christian. Pascal Siakam. I'm over here.
Right. Speaking in tongues and stuff.
So I think Toronto can do it too. So I think if there is a team that can even compete with them, one of those teams. But honestly, if Golden State gets in their groove, what are we talking about? 4-1 maybe.
I don't buy that. I don't know.
Everyone is looking for some kind of like something about the Warriors, like, oh, maybe they, maybe this team could tell me. Look, they're trying to go to the finals for the 5th year in a row, which has not been done since the Celtics of the 60s. So they're just trying to get to the playoffs healthy.
Yeah.
So Durant, he's going to be out for as long as he needs to. Yeah. Other players will get rest here and there, and they're still going to be the 1 or 2 seed. They were the 2 seed last year, and still made it to the finals. So any team that looks like they may challenge the Warriors, because you see them beat the Warriors one time. The Rockets have beat the Warriors 3 out of 4 this season. I'm not trusting the Rockets still.
Period.
But I don't think it's the Bucks. I think the Bucks, because I think they're a regular season team right now.
And they're young.
I see them making the first, getting out the first round. But in the playoffs, it's all about we're going to take the best option away. Mm-hmm. And if they're going to take away the Greek Freak, what else do you have besides Giannis? I know you name players, but those are not players that can take over games.
Like a one player can carry you through a regular season.
Right.
But in the playoffs, you're playing this same team several times.
And they're going to
over the max 2 week period.
Do they have enough? And I think it's Toronto. I think Toronto and Boston.
The team to beat to me still in the East is Boston, because we saw them beat this Bucks team last year. I know both teams are a little bit different, but we saw the Celtics beat that team. We see that Joel Embiid, I think he still has nightmares about Al Horford and Aaron Baines. I told you this Wednesday, still has nightmares about them. So I don't trust Philly against Boston.
And I think with Boston, I think these last 2-3 weeks of the season are going to be critical, real critical. And what I mean by this, we see Hayward's playing better, right? We see Jaylen Brown's getting back into his rhythm. We see Tatum's getting back into his rhythm, meaning they're understanding that the pecking order is kind of being understood better than it was. And I think that was one of their biggest problems that they had throughout the season.
It was an issue about the pecking order, whose role is what. But once the playoffs come around, and then, it's about matchups.
Yep.
So I think that that Stevens and the coaching staff will be able to figure out the matchups. Like, we're not going to see a lot of where the rotation gets shorter. They can go 10, 11 deep. It's going to be like 7, 8 deep. So it's not something that they will have to worry about once they get to the playoffs. They just have to get there, and then they'll be able to settle in.
And once they go 7-8 deep, what are we talking about? Rozier, Hayward, and what?
And Jaylen
Brown.
And other
I mean, you might have to play Baines if Horford gets in foul trouble, or Daniel Tice maybe. But I mean, you could sprinkle in some of those other
nice
guys.
8.
But you got a core 8. Like
These
are the guys.
That's a nice 8. That's a nice 8.
The thing is, Philly is just, do you trust Brett Brown, and also do you trust, as G always says, Ben Simmons has
That's
to
what I was hoping you was
make free throws and look like he wants to take a jumper.
Just
shoot it.
I was wondering if you was going to say his name, because that was going to be, can you
at
trust
least
him?
make the defense think you're going to shoot a jumper.
Yeah.
So that means you got to shoot it every now and then. But that's a reason why Boston was able to dispatch them in 5 games.
Yeah.
Like they're playing 30 feet away from them.
Yeah.
They literally outside the 3-point line all you want. We know you're not shooting it.
They literally played 5-on-4. Like they did not defend him until he got to the free throw line.
But Embiid has been playing out his mind since he came back, and I just wonder, like you said, if they don't have to play Boston until
the conference finals.
Boston is sitting at that 5 seed, right? I think they want to try to stay there and hope that Philly needs to keep that 3rd seed, because if they fall to 4, they're playing Boston in the first round.
Right.
Jimmy's not even looking as good in Philly as
he's not the. I don't know if he's like, well, I don't have to be the alpha dog, or he comes in and realizes, okay, Embiid is the guy.
So he does it on defense, and if they need me on offense, then I can kind of do it.
That's why I think it's working, because to me, the key part is my man that came from
Tobias
from Clippers. And with
yeah,
Harris coming in, because he can hit that 3, and now you have to sell out in a sense defensively before you could sag off, but you can't do that now.
And to be for real, it gives Jimmy more energy to be on the defensive end, right? Like he don't have to come down and do what he did, whether it was in Minnesota or Chicago. You know, he's able to go down defensive end, give all his energy, and come back on the offensive end and drop it down to Embiid.
Right. So with the Raptors, Boston has playoff experience, and we know that Kyrie been to the finals 3 times, 2 or 3 times, 3 times,
isn't it?
So with San Antonio, with the Raptors, you have Kawhi, who's been to the championship twice. He's won, and he's been there twice, right? Danny Green has been there.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen
Kyle
Lowry. He's been there. Even with Gasol, does the experience with Toronto, does it play a major factor in getting them back or getting them to the finals this year?
I think it definitely helps, because even last year, let G say his name, he was big playing against Cleveland.
Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, he was big. He was big even playing, against Cleveland last year. If I'm not mistaken, didn't LeBron hit the shot over him?
Yeah. He hit it over
the other guy.
No, it was
the other guy. But even Stan, they got good experience.
And he's the key, because he's so long. He plays defense.
Right.
He can score.
Right. If you need him to. If not, he's not really worried about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's good.
I don't know, man. It's going to be tough.
I think the East playoffs are going to be real good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And I know I may have said it before. When you look at the East record, it's not much off from the West. I think maybe the 7th and 8th seed is the only seeds that's kind of, far off. But man, the East, the parity is there. It's a good season in the NBA.
All right, so that wraps up the NBA shoot around. We will be right back for more on the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
This is Av Stanley, senior writer for the 3-Point Conversion, and you know I'm listening to Mr. Controversy and D Intellectual on the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Tell them what's going on.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports?
I don't believe it! It's a touchdown!
Entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
And other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the Real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
What's going on, guys? It's John Collins from the Atlanta Hawks. You're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Hey, forget it. I want to ask y'all this. I know we kind of hit on it before. We talked about Zion, and we watched his play. Did it look like, or does it look like he's come back better? He's better than he was when he got hurt, before he got hurt?
Yes.
So what does it say about him now?
The league need to watch out next year.
Did it change your opinion on him at all? It did mine. I'm going to tell you why it did mine. I knew Zion can play, and he was, a beast as far as you can't handle him physically,
Mm-hmm.
But I think with the fact that he showed, like, I'm about to put this team on my back. And he stepped up when they needed him, man, and made big plays. Like, in these last two games, to me, he grew up.
You know what I think it was? Seeing how the team plays without him, right? Mm-hmm. And seeing what they need and how important he is,
like,
and it made
like
him.
We talked about a coach and all of that, right?
Yeah, like it made him see, okay, this is what I need to do when I get there. Like when he get it now, he's going hard. Mm-hmm. He's shooting a three, even when he only took a couple, but when he's shooting it with confidence. You know what I mean? He balling, he going in, and he getting it. He getting what's his. Like this gonna sound bad, but I mean it in a good way. He's believing the hype now. You know what I mean? I feel like he's believing the hype.
Right.
And I don't mean it in a bad way, like he's feeling himself, but he's like, you know what, I am this. I am, and he's taking over.
Right. And the look he had on his face when they won, just like he was smiling like,
yeah.
We're here.
Yeah.
Like, we're here. And, I just feel like that now I'm ready to watch the tournament. Well, I've been ready, but I'm saying as a general fan, you hear people, I want to watch this tournament now. Because like we talked about how he sparked the...
When's it start?
Next week.
Next
Thursday,
Next Thursday. Oh, that's
Your selection Sunday is tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, that's perfect.
It's like...
Thursday.
It's like, they always start on Thursday.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Why you say it's perfect? Oh, you got something. I didn't know why. So anyway, but you talking out loud. But
Right.
yeah, but I think from like the major conferences, you got teams that you feel like they can make it. They can, that, all right, like, I don't know. I still believe in maybe because I'm a Big Ten guy and I'm Izzo, but I believe in Michigan State.
You always got to believe in Michigan State.
Yeah, and I think Michigan State right there. I mean, I like Michigan, but I think Michigan State is the cream of the crop when it comes to Big Ten.
I mean, initially they weren't even ranked, right?
What you mean?
Like initially, the initial top 25, they weren't even in the initial top 25. I don't think.
When
Michigan State, when the preseason top 25, I don't even think they were in the preseason top 25.
G, look that up. I think they were. They're always ranked. I don't know, but
and they got pretty far up at one point. Right?
But Michigan State is always the team that. With Michigan State, they're always going to be the team that, with Izzo, when it comes to being in tournament play. You can't count them out in the Final Four. I don't care who he has.
Michigan State started the season ranked number 10.
Yeah, that's why I was like.
But they always seem to hang around no matter who's on their team.
Right.
They seem to hang around. And they can make a run if they get the right matchup, especially in the Sweet 16. Then it looks like it's possible that they can get to the Final Four. Right.
Hey, D must have got it mixed up with football. That's why I was saying.
Yeah, it probably was.
Michigan State always gonna be ranked top 10. They see their team.
Yeah.
But with the SEC, Tennessee has been surprised, and you got Kentucky. I feel like I like Calipari, and I always said I think he's a great coach. Mm-hmm. I think people sleep on him because he has star power. But I think you have to learn how to coach star power. Mm-hmm. I don't see them making the Final Four. I don't think they have enough depth. But at the same time, I think with Calipari, with his experience in this, I think he can make it interesting. And I guess my point is, we got players right now, and college basketball as a whole is not as, you don't have that much star power as we had in the past. It's really, you got Duke, you got Morant, you got all of them, but it's not that many star power players. But I think we need to really pay attention to the coaches. I think right now, because of that, this is where the coaches come in, and they're going to make a difference. And like I said, Michigan State, Kentucky, of course, Duke, North Carolina, and it's possible. Everybody keep talking about it. It might be 3 teams from the ACC that might be in the Final Four, depending on how the
and see
that's
goes. That's what I was going to ask you too. Right now, Virginia lost to Florida State, so we, I would think maybe possibly we may have seen the ACC championship last night with Duke and North Carolina, because now Duke is going to play Florida State. But we know how Florida State does upset Duke a lot. Like we've seen a lot of upsets. What do you think that does for Virginia? Do you think that hurts them going into the tournament? I
don't think they get a number. They don't get a number 1 seed. Right.
Well, but if they don't, because you have to consider Gonzaga lost their conference championship.
Right.
Virginia, they lost in the semifinals.
Right.
Carolina lost in the semifinals. Kentucky, what did Kentucky do? Well, they play the conference championship tonight. So those are the AP 1 through 4 right there. Okay, so does that mean if Duke wins, I think they get a 1 seed. But does Michigan State get a 1 seed now? Does Texas Tech get one?
No, I don't think.
If Tennessee wins, if they beat Kentucky, do they jump to get a number 1 seed?
I think Tennessee, if they win, you get a number 2. I think Michigan State.
Well, Tennessee's already locked into a number 2 right now. I think into a 2 seed.
Even if they lose.
Yeah. I mean, because I think right now losing in the conference tournament doesn't impact your seeding that much. Like, I think Gonzaga will probably still get a 1 seed.
Yeah.
As far as Virginia or North Carolina, only one of them will.
Mm-hmm.
I think Duke, if they go ahead and beat Florida State, they'll get a 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're talking about 2 spots. Between Virginia, North Carolina, and Kentucky. And I think I don't see Virginia and North Carolina both getting one along with Duke. So I think Kentucky will get that other one if they beat Tennessee. But even if Tennessee wins, then that might open up Virginia or North Carolina getting one. But I think Tennessee is a 2 seed no matter what happens.
But you can't give it to Virginia. They lost to Florida State, man, and
Their second loss of the season.
But still,
And Florida State is ranked 12 too.
No, they third loss of the season.
And Florida
The
State,
third loss.
Florida State ranked too. They ranked 12.
Right, but
I mean, I think that Virginia may have more of a case for still being a 1 seed than Gonzaga.
Maybe a bit more than Duke.
But
No,
Duke is
they
still
can't.
playing,
You could say-
so they have an
No,
opportunity to play themselves
right,
into
and
a
you could
1
say
seed.
you could say no because Zion was out for the 2 weeks, and that's where some of
But
their
how-
losses came
but
from.
You saying Virginia has a better chance than Duke?
They could arguably be.
Well, Duke has a Duke.
They
Duke-
lost to Duke twice. No, they can't. They're not going to jump over Duke. Now they can get like G saying they might get number one, but I don't.
Duke can get Duke. Yeah, they did lose to Duke.
Duke
twice,
can
so.
play themselves in, like with a win, play into a 1 seed. But
Right.
I think Virginia may still get a 1 seed.
seed.
They have a better case to be a 1 seed than Gonzaga does.
Right.
I mean that could be it right there. What Duke, Virginia, Gonzaga, and what Kentucky?
If Kentucky wins today, but if Kentucky loses, then that could open it up for Michigan State, maybe North Carolina. If you look more of their resume, because they beat Duke twice, but it was without Zion.
Right.
All right, so
I don't know how much context the committee takes into effect.
And they only lost by 1 with Zion. So
Right.
you know what I mean.
I want to shift gears. Let me ask this question first before I ask you about baseball. This question has been floating around here in Atlanta. And if you're listening, call in if you can. Do you have what is your best non-sporting event? What I mean by that is like not a game, not an actual game. So, G, we talking about sporting events that is not actually a game. And when I say non-sporting events, I mean like Selection Sunday, the NFL Draft, Pro Football Hall of Fame. Are those? Do you have one that's better than all of them? Like, or your best, your favorite? It could be the combine, anything that's not a game, but it's sports.
For me, it's the NBA draft. Like, I really like the NBA draft. But okay, so the bad thing about it is I probably only like the lottery. Like after the lottery, I kind of after the lottery, maybe the top 10, I'm kind of out of it. But as far as the NFL draft, I don't. It's like the whole weekend. Like I'm not really on that.
Well, even the first day you can say that, but like because with the NBA draft, like at the Hawks draft party, after the first 5-6 picks.
Actually, after your team,
yeah, we forgot it was.
That's really how.
We forgot it was
after your team
after
picks.
your team get, you be like, yeah,
Because it's. I'm not sure if it really works out, but it seems this way. Like, okay, say we're here in Atlanta. We're at the Hawks draft party, right? The Hawks last year they had the 5th pick. They took Luka, and then they traded for Trey,
pick, right?
Something like
Whatever,
that.
but yeah.
So they made the trade. Okay, Trey Young is the guy. That's going to be our new guy. Trey is here by like 10:30 p.m. at the draft party that we've been sitting at for a couple of hours. So it's
he actually called in, and it was like when he called, Trey. And that's my dog, Trey. I'm messing with you because you my dog. They asked Trey. So, what do you think about coming to Atlanta? Trey said, well, I think that it's great because it's really great being here. I like being picking. It's great. I mean,
it's great, huh, Trey? It's really great, huh, Trey? It's great, huh?
That's my dude, though.
In most cases, like as soon as a guy is picked, he gets the hat. He shakes hands with the commissioner. He does the interview, and he's out of there.
Yeah, right.
He's being flown to the draft party that night.
The fans are not involved. Like, what would you say is yours?
For me, even though I like I like watching the NBA draft because it's faster. I had a hard time watching the NFL draft, and now they keep moving it. Now it used to be Saturday afternoon was the first round. Now it's Thursday night. Right. Because they're trying to get, that TV money, man. But for me, I like watching the NBA draft lottery, just because like it's kind of like I want to be right about something. Like I know who's going to get the first pick, and it's not necessarily because of some ping pong balls.
Right.
It's going to be, when New Orleans got the first pick and took Anthony Davis, like, oh, the NBA is running the then New Orleans Hornets right now.
Right.
Okay. When Cleveland got the number 1 pick
with Kyrie, 3 years out of 4 years.
Yeah, especially when the year that they got Kyrie, it was like, oh, the NBA feels sorry for them because LeBron left.
But then they gave it to him again. You like, hold on, y'all gonna keep feeling sorry for him? Then they got it again.
This is the trade off.
Mine is the MLB draft. Just playing.
Did you hear the crickets?
I thought you was about to give me a stop.
Please give him one.
I'm just playing, man.
Stop. Did you hear the crickets? Everybody stopped like.
I don't even know. I think NHL draft is more fascinating than MLB draft.
I don't even think it comes on TV.
No, it comes on.
It does, but it's not like where the players are there and they get the hat.
You just see Harold. What's his name? Harold. I can't think of his name.
Harold Reynolds.
Harold Reynolds is talking about swinging bats, and you got
like these are guys we're not going to see for at least 2 years.
Look at his stroke, and you're not going to see him for 6 years. He's going to be in the minors for 6 years.
But no, mine's
or he's going to go to the NFL.
Yeah,
right. Mine is the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's always going to be mine. I mean, just the anticipation. I do hate when Muzz be giving sermons and they be talking forever. Like Jerry Rice, that one year when Jerry Rice was talking, oh my God, I was so embarrassed, and I had to turn it.
Or anytime Ray talks.
Hey, this is what he was saying, G. Ray was not Ray, but Rice. This is Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was like, so he was like, and in my years at Mississippi State Valley, I caught the ball a lot, and sometimes I got tripped up, and I fell on my face, and it was like he had a mental note. Okay, look at the crying lad. He's like.
That's probably written down. Like
they gave him the quiet laugh. He did the quiet laugh.
Pause for cheers.
Bruh, that was so embarrassing. But then you hear great stories, the great. So I like that, seeing what's going to happen.
Well, since you were there last year, is there a time limit on these speeches?
No, because Ray Lewis.
I know Ray Lewis said he was going to talk for like 25 minutes.
So look,
and it probably ended up being 45.
So I was in the back, right? I was behind the stage, right, with everybody else. You saw directors coming out, shaking their heads, pointing at their time, like shrugging their shoulders. Lawrence Taylor, when is this mother going to finish? It was crazy. Like it was, but like I said, man, it was cool because you got something that's quick, whatever. But still, I like to hear the stories, man, because it's awesome. So, but that's mine.
Definitely, I want to give a quick shout out to one of the homies, Solo. He said Virginia shouldn't want to be a number one. They was the first number one seed to get knocked out last year.
Right. Yeah, for real. They shouldn't deserve to be a number one. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com. Are you tired of avoiding great tasting food because you want to eat healthy? Well, Salad Express will fix that problem for you. Salad Express is a gourmet salad and grill restaurant that gives you multiple options to satisfy your taste buds and keep you healthy. They have over 40 toppings, which are cut fresh daily, 7 homemade soups, and even chili. You can also order hot sandwiches and wraps with choices like grilled chicken, steak, salmon, and shrimp, which can be added to salads too. So go ahead and visit them today at 1055 Mansell Road, Suite 600, Roswell, Georgia, and 1171 La Vista Road Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia. Call their Roswell location at 770-680-5992 or the La Vista Road location at 404-929-8828. And don't forget to let them know the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge sent you.
What's good, family? I'm Marlon Sucker Free Jones of Sucker Free Life Double LC, and I'm locked in every Saturday to the best sports show on the planet, the 3 Point Conversion, with no team or no players off limits. So let's talk sports, the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and everything in between. Can you dig that?
It's time to get in the mind of Mr. Controversy and the Intellectual with What's on My Mind.
All right, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. All right, so real quick, D, the Braves have their money on Josh Donaldson to be that MVP caliber type player. Are you buying that?
So I think he's going to come in and do a decent job. Last year he was kind of hurt. He only played 52 games, so of course his production wasn't there.
And he did well when he was with Cleveland at the end of the year in the playoffs.
Yeah, he had. I mean, it wasn't horrible, you know. And like you say, later on with Cleveland, his slugging percentage got up to where he usually is. His OPS got up to where he usually is. His batting average was right there. So if he comes in and just be, 25 home runs, 20, 25. So I don't want them to have the expectation that he's going to come and hit 40 home runs, right? Like, have the expectation of a little lower, but coming in and being someone they're worried about, like a pitcher is worried about pitching to him. Right. If he come in and do that, I think he'd be successful, but I don't want them to have the thinking he's going to be the MVP Josh Donaldson. Right. But if he does, though. But they also paying him a lot of money. What, $23 million for 1 year?
Yep.
You better come in and do something.
Last question, quickly. Yankees, do you think they finally get up to what we thought they were going to be? So we expect them to be?
They're definitely good. I think Troy Tulowitzki is going to help them. Severino is not going to come until April, maybe May. So I think that's going to be sort of an issue. But you got to beat the champs, baby. Yeah. You got to beat the champs. Yep. Before you can do anything, you got to beat the champs.
The Red Sox are a better team.
They are
right
loaded.
Now.
They're loaded, dude. They haven't lost anybody.
Like the Yankees won like 100 and something games last year.
And still like 50 games behind.
Yeah. Like JD Martinez, he murdered the game last year. Mookie Betts. Y'all think Bryce got paid?
Right.
All right. Wait till Mookie and Mike over there, Mike Trout over there, like, yeah, baby, $400 million.
All right. So first, I want to again thank my sponsors. I want to thank Syndicate's Barbershop. I want to thank Ortho Atlanta and Salad Express, and of course, Sucker Free Life LLC. Make sure you live your truth for the world to see, because everyone can be sucker free. Make sure you purchase your apparel today on Facebook.com/Sucker Free Life LLC. And that is our sponsor for the next segment, which is What's on Our Minds, or What's on My Mind. But our minds, because it's me and him. But the segment is What's on My Mind. This is a segment where we like to just spit off the dome, man. Just come straight, freestyle it in a sense if you want. Just something that we've been thinking about, been bothering us. Just something we might not understand. But it's our time to be uninterrupted. Unless G has a comment he has to say. That's the best with you, G. All right, so what's on my mind? This situation I spoke about it earlier, but I want to dive in a little deeper. With Le'Veon Bell, I got shocked. I was shocked at first. Like I said, I was shocked that he signed with the Jets. I guess I was hoping he wouldn't sign with the Jets. But he did. Yeah, he signed for less money than he would have gotten if he would have stayed with Pittsburgh, or he would have taken that deal. So, all right, you've been hearing a lot of people say he's stupid, he's dumb for that, that's what he gets, and all of that. And like I stated earlier, it's about standing up for what you believe in. When you stand up for what you believe in and you take a stance or make a stand, it's usually you're making a stand against something, or a stance against something that everybody else feel like you're wrong about or they don't agree about, which means backlash is going to come. You might not even get what you want, but it's making a stand, right? We look at Kaepernick. Kaepernick took a chance. He made a stand, right? He knew, and he said it in his press conference, I know I'm going to sacrifice. I'm probably lose a lot, lose millions. I might lose everything. But this is worth it. That's the whole point, man. And I hope children, grown men, women, anybody and everybody learn from this. Especially in sports, you see so many times where a lot of players, or athletes, I should say, they don't fight for what they believe in. They feel like they got treated wrong, or the contract is not right. They hold out until the season starts, then they're back in. Because it's starting to hurt their pockets. But what happens? What they set out to be doesn't happen. It doesn't get accomplished. But in the long run, I guarantee you this is going to work out. Because now, what if other players start saying, you know what, I'm going to take a stand. I'm staying out the whole year. The NFL don't want them problems. NBA, MLB, NHL, whoever. So it's not always about getting what you want at that time. But if you're going to make a stand, you're going to have to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole purpose of it. And I commend Le'Veon Bell for doing that. I'm proud of him. And like I said, you never know what happens. And he said he didn't want to do this just for himself. This is more for the future and other running backs. And we might see it happen. And that's what's on my mind.
Man, I definitely agree with you. And that's one of the points that I brought up when they was talking about how much he made. Man, he made his point, though. Mm-hmm. And he showed other players, you can sit out a year. Yeah, you can sit out a year. You'll be good. Some team going to pick you up the following year. I really thought he was going to go to the Texans. I don't know why that never materialized. Right. Like, that would have been great.
Crazy.
So what's on my mind today is it's going to be an NBA thing. It's how in Europe or overseas, most of these players start playing professionally when they 14, 15 years old. For example, Luka Donaldson. By the time he came over here, he had already won an MVP in the highest league in Europe. Making money, taking care of his family. However, over here in America, which we can always make sure America's going to get their money, or American greed, or whatever you want to say. If you're 15, you got to be in high school. You got to, as you continue to go 16, 17, go to college, you got to do this, you got to do that, so that everybody can use you up until it's done. I remember Mark Cuban saying that he prefers European players because they're smarter, they're learning the game a different way and things like that. I'm sure that's attributed to the AAU system and things like that. But another thing I like to point out is, well, people say, well, then a player can just go overseas for a year, then go to the NBA. So here's the thing. You want a 17-year-old to go to Europe in a place where they don't know the language just so that they can make the money and just so that they'll have the same opportunity. I just don't agree with that. I do think that the European players come over here better prepared for the professional league, and better prepared for what's going to happen, not just with having the money, but also with being around professionals, being around grown men, being in the media, things like that. And I'm not sure what the answer is, because again, we're in America. It's greedy. We know we want to get America's going to get their money, whether it's the NCAA, high school, or whatever the case may be. So I don't know the answer, but I definitely want to speak on that. I just think that it's excuse me, it's a travesty that like Brandon Jennings went overseas for a year. He didn't have a good year when he went overseas for a year. Luckily, he was able to come back over here, still get drafted top 10, have that great rookie season, and he had a pretty decent career. But he had to go over there. You know how horrible he said it was when he went over there? He didn't know the language. He couldn't talk to his coach because the language barrier. Not really being able to talk to people in the area because of the language barrier. You know what I mean? Like, when you're not from a place, it's not the same. It's not the United States. When you're not from the United States, it's not the same going to Europe. When you're from Europe coming to the United States, that's a different ball game. You know what I mean? So, that's what was on my mind today. I just wanted to speak on it. I don't know what the answer is, but European 15 to 17-year-olds are different compared to American players 15 to 17-year-old. And man, we need to do something about it. I don't know what the answer is, but we can figure something out.
Hey, I'm with you, bro. I ain't gonna say that because then it sound like I'm gonna be supporting. I feel you on that. Like
What?
Nah, not supporting that Joker. All right, so
I know
if you
what
heard
you're
this
talking
music, you already know what it means. It is time to let you go. But before we let you go, we have a couple of shout-outs. You might be a part of it, so listen up. First of all, I want to give a shout-out to the Almighty, the Dundada. Appreciate God for giving me this opportunity to have this platform to say what I say, do what I do, make you all upset, mad, happy, want to give me the stop it button. I appreciate that. Man, I love you. I appreciate it, God. I'm gonna keep rocking this out.
Thank you, Raphael.
Welcome. Also, I want to give a shout out to Jerry Jones for giving me that drop. That little, I don't care how much I don't like it, I'm keeping it. Forget y'all. Also, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Seneca's Barbershop, Second Free Life LLC, Ortho Atlanta, and Salad Express. We appreciate you all. Also,
do you do that for memory? Anyway.
Also, I want to thank my engineer G. Happy birthday, G!
Happy birthday, boy.
Thanks.
Hey, we're gonna do like old school. We're gonna punch him out.
Yep, I want my
licks. Yeah.
67 licks.
All right, I ain't doing your show no more. Let's see what happens.
Also, with a shout out, man, D Intellectual. Appreciate you, homie.
Show, man. It's a great day to be here. Definitely want to give a shout out to God. Give a shout out to all friends and family that always tunes in. All our friends, our fans that tune in every week, and also follow our following, our social media following. Special shout out to the homie Solo for coming up with that great with Virginia, and a special shout out to one of my friends, Deanna. She listens every week. I mean, since I've been on here. Even when I hit her Saturday morning to tell her to listen, she says she's already listening. She's already ready. So, man, special shout out for always being prepared and listening. And she's a Patriots fan, unfortunately, but shout out.
Thanks, Deanna. Deanna, right?
Yeah, Deanna.
Appreciate you. Also, I want to give a shout out to our guest, L.A. Broaders, for coming on, killing it. We appreciate you, sir. Also to my family and friends, wife, children, cousins, uncles, aunties, brothers and sisters, grandparents, and play cousins. Make sure you all have a great weekend. Stay safe, be safe, eat good, watch sports. Tell your family and friends you love them so they know that you love them while they're still alive. And until then, next week, same time, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense. Will you miss me? I'm out. Peace. You just got done listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at the 3-Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.